Hello viewers, sorry for the technical difficulty there. I haven't set up the track holder with my audio, so it would have been somewhat silent, shall we say. I'm using different microphone today, so I don't have to wear a headset, so it's not going to ruffle my hair and ruin my hair. Not that I've got much, to be fair. So it's eSeniors GT3 Championship, and it's the GT4 race taking place at Silverstone. We've had a couple of races already at Silverstone this week. A lot of overtakes been done, to be fair. A couple of incidents as well, but the starts in the main have been relatively clean. That's usually where we find the most difficulty, shall we say, is people getting through the start and getting through the first corner. Let's have a quick look at the table. And let's see from a table... Oh, that's the wrong button there. That shouldn't be coming up there. As you can see, it's all going pear-shaped. So let me just redo that again. That should have been the GT4 table, and I don't know why it wasn't, because it was all set up to do that. The gremlins have been at it. Let's see that again. Let's move that into space. And let's see if I can get that to display. So just bear with me. Oh, what a technical day that I've had today. One thing after the other. Right, so let's try that again. Ah, there you go. That's a bit better. So as you can see, this has been two drivers really who were pitting themselves against each other. Chris Bourne in the Mercedes with a score of 422, and Alessandro Mediotti, who's in the Porsche, with a score of 410. There's then a little bit of a gap, well, okay, you could say a little bit of a gap, between the next racer, which is John Saunders, and then Eric, who's in the Ginetta, is currently in 4th place. He's being closely chased by Jeremy in the BMW. And then as you can see further down, we've got a few more cars getting close together. There's a lot of people on that leaderboard, but there is only actually 18 cars on track racing today, so a good chunk of these are going to miss out on the points. I think it's fair to say. We've got no driver interviews planned today, and I've got no one in the commentary box, and that's probably why I'm a bit 6s and 7s, because I've not been able to prepare. I'm just reading Luke's comment. I've not been able to prepare the same way. I've obviously been busy. I had a meeting that finished literally very short time ago, and I've actually got out of that meeting, get myself all sorted and stream. So I'm not as prepared as I would normally like to prepare. So first of all, I want to apologise for that. Okay. Also want to make you aware of obviously we've got someone who's sponsoring the software we're using. The ACC TV, which allows me to look at the drivers, change the cameras, change the cars, and so on and so forth. So I just want to thank PWS, Pressure Wash Systems, for sponsoring us. I am getting some official graphics off them at some point, and it'll be a little bit more obvious what they do. They've also got a website. Again, I'll put a link onto the website at some point so you can see that website. They've got some really good equipment there, and for members, I'm reliably informed, you might even get a discount. Okay, so basic Staffordshire stuff really does only immediately apply to the UK people, but you never know. Might well ship across abroad, different countries, and you may get a really good deal. So yeah, I just want to thank Darren Newton at PWS for that. I really appreciate that, and allowing us to move this group forward in a really positive manner. Quick hello to the stream, the chat. We've got Luke, and Luke's saying he's pulled the cables when he left last night. Well, that sounds about right. You know, walking out, pulling everything out as he left the room. That sounds about perfectly right, that. So no wonder I've got technical issues this morning. He was pressing all the buttons as he was leaving the room. I saw him. He was laughing on his way out, thinking, I'll get him in trouble tomorrow. And that's exactly what he's done. Only joking, Luke, obviously. Really enjoyed having you on board yesterday, my friend. So, hopefully you can hear me clearly with a new mic. I hope it's not too loud. If it's too loud, just give me a nod. I'll lower the volume a little bit. The sound levels do appear to be correct to me, but obviously you, the guys who can hear that more so than me. But obviously if you feel it's a bit too loud and need to lower it down a bit, I'm more than happy to do that. Right, so who's the runners and riders who I think we need to look at? So pre-qualifying, I was watching a couple of the races. There was a surprise contender in this race. Now, I don't know if it's just the GT4 in this track, but Frank Roder was looking very, very quick. So I think we might see him in the top 3 or 4. Mediotti, Alessandro Mediotti, was his usual self, as was Chris Bourne. Reese Wiggins is looking good as well, 210. So 2:10 is a really good time. I must admit, 2:10 is a really good time in the GT4s. So I think people are going to be looking at the 2:11s really as a good qualification time for the rest of the group. Hi Steve, thanks for joining the stream. Hi Richard, hi Paul, thanks for joining guys. You've got my dulcet tones for the race. I've got no one who wanted to. I didn't ask, I didn't announce it to jump in the booth. The booth's always available if I'm by myself, you know. So that's the way we ride, if you like. So I'm just going to jump forward to Derek. So today's race is the usual 20-minute qualifying, and it's an hour race with a pit stop, a mandatory pit stop, including tyres and fuel. So I can put a pit stop count on the screen. So just to re-explain how this works, this doesn't register whether the pit stop is valid or not. It only registers the fact that the car has been in the pits. So you'll see you've already got a car showing green because someone's already been in the pits. During the race they will all go orange. So as I said, all it'll do is once a car's been in the pits and come out the pits, it'll indicate they have made a pit stop. What it will not do, and what you can't get from the game, is whether that pit stop was valid or not. So we still may see some drive-through penalties or stop and goes as a result of illegal pit stops. If they pull a pit stop off and they don't get it right, then what will happen is at the end of the race they get a time penalty, and that can really plummet them down the table. All right, so that's the state of play with the penalties. Now, interesting track this. You can see a lot of cars going wide, and Derek's done a 2:11, 2:23. But what you don't see is penalties for them track limits. So you'll see a lot of the cars actually cutting corners, and when I mean cutting corners, they're almost lawn mowing. And as far as I'm aware in the game, you're not getting a track warning for that. Obviously you get a track limit, but you don't get a warning, even though you're going full throttle. So I think we're going to see a lot of cars today really cutting the corners, certainly on parts of the track. And what I'll do is I'll wait for Andreas to go through and see if he'll continue this lap, and I'll do a very, very quick lap guide. Most of you know Silverstone, it's a very well known Formula 1 track, but still, you know, I'll go through what I've got as corner names anyway, and a little bit of a guide about, you know, where you're going in relation to the corners. So he's just come out of Luffield now, and he's going on the start finish straight. So flat out on the start finish straight. Hopefully he's going to carry on his lap, and he's going on a lap, and this will take him down to the right hander, which is Copse. So you brake hard to cut the corner and then get the power down as you drift to the left a little bit. Start coming through the little tricky baguettes. So on here you want to cut left hand side, cut the right hand side. So we'll see Andreas do that. Left hand side, right hand side, and then start easing down and getting the car to turn left. Okay, that takes us into Beckett's and the Chapel Curve. Then you get into the Hanger Straight. This is a great passing place if you can get the drive out of the Chapel Curve, and I think we will see some passes. You'll see cars going defensive and they'll sit on the right hand side of the track. If they go on the left hand side of the track, they are there for the taking. This takes them into Stowe, and then down into Vale, which takes us into the little chicane. Again, on the chicane you will see cars trying to dive, very, very dangerous, but we will see it unfortunately. Left-hander, and then that takes us into the right-hander, which is Club, and you can see there Andreas has gone very wide again. This takes us round onto the Hamilton Strait. Can't think who that's named after. And at the end of the Hamilton Strait, we turn right into Abbey. And there's a little kink after Abbey, which is referred to as the Farm Curve. Again, it's not much of a kink. And then braking hard into the village. Some cars going in the GT3s into first gear, and then into the left-hander, which is the loop. Get the car turning in and then get the power down as quick as possible. The left-hander here is then referred to as Aintree. You can keep your foot flat through here, and then down the Wellington Straight. At the end of the Wellington Straight, you want to be starting right and then drifting left, under braking, trail braking into Brooklands. Get the car to the left-hand side, then drift it to the right-hand side, and then that takes us into Luffield. Then from Luffield, we're into Woodcote, the right-hander, and that takes us down to the start-finish straight. That's a very, very brief guide of Silverstone. Okay, so good morning, Stefan. Good morning, James. Can only look at the race on a conference call. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, Stefan, you just confirmed exactly what I was trying to explain there. There are very few track penalties on this penalties on this track. So I think you've just confirmed that for me. And yeah, it's what I was aware of with the way cars were cutting the track yesterday and the day before. So, you know, in relation to that, it's I think we're going to see a lot of people taking advantage of that. So if anybody's new to the stream, obviously eSeniors guys, you're aware of this. Please click the like button and also click subscribe. We want to get this out to as many people as possible. And as I said, we are now being the software we're using is being sponsored by PWS as well, to allow us to move further forward as part of the group. You know, so we're really proud to have that affiliation with them. Stefan's saying he's found all the track limits, so he can help us as the race goes on. So we've got 8 minutes left to qualifying, and at the moment, as I did mention Frank's name, I did say Frank was looking a bit of a... I'm not going to say surprise package, that's disrespectful to Frank. I said he was looking quick, and he's managed to do a 2:11 at flat. So you can just see just how quick a time this is. Now we're on board with Chris Bourne. Not on board, we're following Chris Bourne round in the fantastic livery that's been done for him for the Mercedes. So he's currently 2/10 up. His best is a 2:10.9, so he's looking at a 2:10.7. He's now 4/10 up, although he's losing time here. You usually find that you go into a corner quick and you've got to lose the time coming out the corner. So he's looking at a 2:10.7 at the moment. This is going to leave him where he is, and he's down to 2:10.8. So he's losing time all the time here. So Frank's looking good on pole, and more so Alessandro, who's been phenomenal in the GT4 as well, you know, as Chris Bourne has. He's actually only just going to make it into the 2:10. So that 2:10.36 is a phenomenal time. 3:56 is a phenomenal time. So Chris is 2/10 up. He's looking at a 2:10.7. And then and Alessandro is looking at a 2:10.6 at the moment, a 2:10.7 actually. He's losing time as well. In fact, he's bleeding time. It's just dropping off him significantly. Hi, Terry. And Paul was saying he was doing a lot better than I thought the other night. Pretty sure he did a 2:10 high. Excellent. Well, let's see it on track. Wait a minute. You're not on track. So, yeah. So we managed a 2:10.6. Alessandro's 3/10 up. Slower cars got out of the way for him. He's lost all his time. So I don't know whether that car just caused me a bit of a problem. Whether the Chevy got in his way there a little bit or not. That did seem to cause him a bit of a problem because he'd lost a good chunk of time. So at the moment, the starting grid is looking like Frank Roder, Reese Wiggin and Chris Bourne. Very, very unusual grid. I'm sure you'll agree. We've still got the usual suspects though. Your Alessandros, your Derek Birds, you know, who always seem to throw them laps in just when they count. We've seen Derek Bird time and time again. Sits there, bides his time, then comes out and does a stunning lap. So I think from that perspective, I don't think this is done yet. And to be fair, Chris Bourne and Alessandro could still go quicker. Paul, you got your booster. Yeah, I've got mine at the end of November. In fact, I've got my booster on the Friday and my flu vaccine on the Monday. So I'm going to be walking zombie on Tuesday. I've got a really important meeting and presentation to do. So that'll go down really well, won't it? Walking down with arms drooping on the floor like a gorilla. Because I can't lift either of them. One injection in one side, one injection in the other. I will say it's only the first injection that floored me. When he floored me for 12 hours, so I'm hoping I'm not going to suffer too much again when I get my booster jab. But, you know, needs must. Got to keep ourselves fit and well, especially coming up to the cold time of the year. Right, there's not much going on at the front here, so I'm going to jump back to Eric and the Ginetta. Hi, Morangaro. You're part of... I'm going to take a punt, and you're... There's something to do with Alessandro Mediotti looks like your logo. Hopefully you can just confirm that for me. And just as I go to him, he goes off screen, does the Ginetta. Let's look at Kevan. Alright, so he's just having a bit of a break. That's that's a perfect good point, that's Stefan. Yes, you can cut the track, but you will get a pressure loss. Good morning, Ollie. Oh, good day. As I should say, really, to yourself. Get some dingo dollars going. Yeah, so Kevin's 4/10 up here. This isn't gonna move in position, but he's gonna better his time. He's gonna put him in to 213s, low 213s. He may get into the 212s, but he's losing time. This track's really bizarre. In fact, he lost a lot of time in the corner, but he must have slowed into the corner to get the good drive out. So he's actually gained a little bit. You can see the corner, how much he cut there. So he was looking 4/10 up, and he's just done a 213.1. So he was quicker, but only just. So quite a few drivers struggling actually to better the time. So we're with Krista Hjort, who did the interview for us yesterday, which was top man Krista. As he mentioned though, if you're going to do the interview, turn the in-game down, the volume, so you can hear actually what's being asked. So when you get in the car again, you can't hear a thing. But really respect Krista for doing that for us, which was fantastic. So Krista's in the McLaren, and he's currently 2/10 up, which will put him into the 212.5. He's lost all his time in that one corner. That would have moved him up a good couple of places there as well, unfortunately. So he's not going to gain on this lap as it stands. We've got 3 minutes to go. The only other person on track, we've got two people going relatively quicker. Is Andreas in the Swedish liveried Mercedes. And Rhys Wiggins was going, but Rhys Wiggins has now lost all his time. So Andreas is looking for a 2:11. Well, he was. He's lost all his time again, as you can see. He just seemed a little bit slow going in and out of that corner. No, I haven't, Ollie. I say I was on a call all the time until the stream started. So I've not yet been to the shop for goodies. So the plan is after the race, turn everything off, go out. I'm going to get myself possibly a kebab and get myself some tinnies. And then I'm going to sit and watch my football team on telly. What a night. Oh, someone's just jumped into the server. Mr. Pownov. Naughty, naughty, naughty. We're going to be stopping that. We're going to, anybody joining the server late on for no reason, we're going to start penalising them. Because it's coming to the point now, 2 minutes, you could have been on a flying lap. And equally, you could have just have lost your lap as a result of that. So I'm going to jump back with Krista. Krista's half a second up here. This will move him up, potentially, to 9th place. He's currently in 13th, so this will give him a 4th-place advantage. But I will say, Petri, in front of him, Vitala, he's also up as well. So he's looking very, very favourable for moving forward in relation to this. So Krista's lost his time. So Nikos is nearly a second up. So Nikos is going for the 2:11s. If he can pull this off, he's going to be well in the top 10. He's lost a bit of time here, is Nikos, but he's 8/10 up. He's looking at he's knocking on the door of 2:11. If he can just take another 10th here, what is it going to take him? Oh, he just lost a bit. He still made the top 10 with a 2:12.0. So that was a good showing, that Nikos. Getting a bit more consistent there. But yeah, Frank Roder, pole position by 2/10. That really does look different than usual. Wow. I mean, Rhys Wiggins is still out, Chris Bourne's still out, and Mediotti's still out. But none of them are bettering the time. And none of them are going to get over the start-finish line for a new lap. So as this stands, unless something miraculous happens between the next guys, and Rhys has already given his, this is going to be Frank Roder's pole. And I'm sure he's going to be delighted with that as an opportunity. So Nikos is going quicker again. He's now going for the 2:11.8s. He's now in 2:11.7s. He's up to 6th if he can carry on. So just stick on. He's now into the 2:11.5s. He's moving up that board. Oh, he's lost a bit of time in that corner. Can't keep it going. He's 3/10 up. He did lose a bit. So he's looking at a 2:11.7 at the moment. That could put him in front of Andreas. Oh, he's lost all his time. I don't know how he's lost time on an acceleration bit. He was looking like he was threatening Andreas. He's now looking like he's threatening Jeremy. Although he's made fantastic gains there. Unbelievable corner. Oh, he was. There you go. And someone has just quit. So that was Mr. Pownov, who joins again. So yeah, we definitely need to get that sorted. So that, I think, is how it's going to end. So be back shortly. So, as is always the way, someone managed to sneak another lap in and get a valid lap in. So this is Krista, who I thought had actually gone into the pits and hadn't. Is going for a 2:12.5 here. So it's going to move him up a place. Oh, it's moved him up a significant jump. He made a lot of time there. So yeah, so that's going to be the grid. I'll wait for them to go back into the pits, and then I'll try and get set up for a grid walk. So this will look a bit messy because I normally get this prepared, but you'll see how I do it anyway. I'm going to go into drive. I'm going to go to actually front of the queue. Look at that, how you can jump. Fantastic. And then we'll spin round, go down a little bit, and then we'll get ourselves set up. So the black Porsche on the left is Frank Roeder. I think that's his very first pole position. We've then got the Chevy on the right, Corvette Chevy. I can't remember what the logo actually means. Typical are in it. Bit of a fail there. We've then got Chris Bourne on the left hand side in the Mercedes, and Alessandro Mediotti in fourth at the moment in the Porsche. Very interesting. He's normally up at the front. I did mention Derek Bird, his usual place there. He's done really well, got himself into fifth place. Closely followed by Andreas in the Mercedes, I think it's fair to say there. Jeremy Arabas in the BMW is next on the grid, alongside Rickard Weston, who's been able to make the GT4 this week, which is good to see you back, Rickard. We've then got Nikos in the Audi, and then Krista in the McLaren next to him. We've then got Terry in the McLaren and PJ in the Porsche. Further down, we've then got Melvin Garland in the White Aston, and we've got Eric Dont in the Ginetta. We've then got Kevin Torrance again in the Chevy Camaro, I think it is, yeah. I think Stefan's just reminded me. And then we've got the other BMW of, I think that's Richard. We've then got Peter in the Porsche, and Manuel in the Aston. And coming up the back is Merch, who's going to try and do the last to first challenge. We'll see how that goes. So, okay, we've got a minute to go before the start. I'm predicting my finishers, movers and shakers. I'm predicting Mediotti, Mr. Bourne, and I'm going to go for Mr. Bird. Anybody in the chat want to have a go at theirs? I'm probably going to be way off. For all his benefit, I'm a Liverpool fan, and they're playing tonight against Atletico Madrid. So in the Champions League, so I'll be sat there watching that one, having a couple of blowing the heads off a couple, if that's the right phrase to use. So obviously these cars don't have tyre warmers, so there's no point sitting in setup on these. They'll be rolling start in a second. I'm currently focused on Chris Bourne's car. That should give us the best view of where we're going to do, and I'll put the gap on so you can see the gap. If at any time you want the position changes showing, the delta position delta, just give me a mention in the chat and I'll change the display for you. And likewise, if you want to see the splits, if I can show you them, I'll show you the splits as well. Not literally me doing the splits, I mean the split times, because that just wouldn't happen. I'll tell you that now. Okay, so I put a post up today about people trying to be uniform in the starts, because people have been going sideways and getting out of line. So you can see Nikos there needs to get in line, which he has done. That's how a start should be, yeah? Cars in front of each other rather than all over the grid.
Green line, go,
So
go,
car 300, that's Andreas has already got a drive-through. Obviously jumped his position there. And you can see Chris has made a great start, and Chris has already dispatched Mediotti. Or has he? Let's just see. He's got the drive in the second corner, but not the first corner. Very close. He's got the drive here. Alessandro's gone very wide. He's got to be very careful here, because that's definitely gaining. So he's going to realise he's giving it back. I know he's also gone wide. So Mediotti has got it all to do now. Straight away, he's gone wide there. There was an incident further back between Jeremy and Nikos. Nikos and Jeremy come together, but it does look like everyone's made it through. And straight away up front, you can see Reese is putting Frank under tremendous pressure. That's it, Ollie. Never walk alone. And Merch has already made 5 places at the start. So great start for Merch there. So he's onward and upward. So I'm just going to quickly... You can see Reese is very aggressive there. He really wants this start. And I think he's going to get him on the opening lap here. We'll just sit with Reese a minute. I am going to jump to Merch because he's on and he's got a great start there, Reese. Really got his car set up. You can see the way it's going around the corners. It's almost riding the corners on rails. Great start that. I don't know, Luke. I was tempted to look back, but with it being the start, I mean, it was non-disruptive to either driver. Jeremy was behind Nikos, I think. I can't remember now. And if that's the case, it sounds like Jeremy might have hit Nikos again. So you can see Chris now is catching Frank up. So Peter Miles is losing time. In fact, he's gone off track here. And I think Richard Colum's going to pass him as well. Melvin's managed to pass them already. So Ricard Weston is putting pressure on Krista. Chris Bourne is putting pressure on Frank Roder. I am looking at the times. I didn't see Merch hit somebody. Was that at the beginning then? Must have missed that. My apologies, Stefan. And Alessandro has now passed Andreas, because Andreas has now had to pit. So that's just opened it up a little bit. But Ricard is putting a lot of pressure on Krista. Krista's gone very deep into that corner. I think you can get a track limiter warning in that corner if you go too deep. But I think you've got to really go off track and keep your foot planted. Let's see how it goes on here. I think Ricard's going to get him. I'm just going to go to Chris Bourne. Chris Bourne is going to take Frank here. Frank's going defensive. Chris Bourne's going on the outside. Has he got the kahunas to take it? Or he's going to do the switcheroo and come on the inside and get the drive up? No, Frank's took a good angle there, so Chris is now going to go for the outside, which he's not going to get. But he's going to have Derek on his case now as well. So Derek's going to come up and put pressure on him. Yeah, so Frank's now looking like a bit of a cork in a bottle here. I do think Chris is going to get past Frank at some point. So Frank's qualifying car was obviously very good. And I don't know if he's waiting for his tyres to go up a little bit. Ricard is still putting pressure on Krista. Don't worry, I'll keep jumping backwards. I'm just trying to keep track of where the action's at the moment. So this is the closest battle. Chris Bourne is putting pressure on Frank, but he's not there yet, shall we say. So Ricard and Krista is, at the moment, is where the fun is at. Good braking, good cornering, nice and clean racing there. And then behind them, we've got Nikos. I've got a feeling Nikos is going to start catching these two up. And then the fun starts. And I mean that in a really positive way, not a negative way. Because I know people could see that as a misconstrued comment. Directed towards Nikos. Definitely not. He's getting quicker and quicker, Nikos, to be fair. So yeah, very, very close battle here. 3/10. Peter Miles, Merch is 4/10 behind PJ. So Merch has made good progress here. He's just not got the right drive in that corner. And Alessandro's gone off. A big spin. Alessandro. So there goes my second place. So he's really struggling putting the car on the track. And he's now down to 15th place, 16th place, one spin. And he's lost all them places. Let's go back with Ricard. Ricard's all over the boot of... or the trunk. Well, as you Americans like to call it. The trunk of the McLaren. Although I don't believe they have a trunk, do they? The McLaren's one where you can open the bonnet and put your goods in the bonnet, although it's a little, only a little cubby hole, as so many of these cars have done. You can see at the back there, Alessandro's now looking to pass Kevan. So I think he just dropped it. There was no contact. I think he just dropped the wheel on the grass, like he did early on. So you can see now Alessandro's got the drive in that car very, very easily. Chris Bourne, I'm going to jump forward with. And I mentioned here Chris Bourne was going to start getting putting on pressure from Derek, and Derek is now there. Frank looks like he's holding his own at the moment, but is that because Chris is now having to look in his rear view mirror, knowing full well Derek's there, and we know Derek's a good racer, as are all these guys really. Yeah, Murch is putting pressure on PJ. Alessandro is going for another car. He's looking to pass Melvin. I think he will get Melvin here, but it will be holding Alessandro up a little bit. Melvin's the type who'll realise the guy's faster and let him go. Now these two are battling. PJ and Murch. PJ's got the inside line, but I think Murch has got the drive, and it also is opening it up for Eric as well. So now Murch is moving forward a little bit. What car is Murch? Car 25. I haven't seen car 25 come up as an incident, so I don't think he has made contact. I know he made a lightning start though. So Alessandro's now past Melvin. So Alessandro's on his way back through the field, and his next target is Eric. He's 4 seconds behind Eric. Eric is putting pressure on PJ here. I'm going to jump to the front because Chris Bourne's now got a really good run on Frank. I'm not sure whether it's enough to get here. It's this little tricky section where he's going to go through, which is through Maggots and then Beckett's. Terry Trowbridge is putting a lot of pressure on Jeremy. So let's see if he got a good drive out here, Chris. So if you've got a good drive, this is a really good passing point. Frank's not going defensive, so he feels Chris hasn't got the run on him here. And I have to admit, I don't think Chris has, unless he's going to brake really, really late. So again, Frank puts the car in, perfect curb, pair of them. Them lines are identical, braking points and everything. So this has turned out to be a bit of a good battle quite early on. And Reese isn't too far ahead, to be fair. Peter Miles has managed to pass Kevin on the straight. Just jump back a little bit to Terry, forward to Terry. Terry's putting pressure on Jeremy. Jeremy went wide on the curb there to make sure he couldn't back past. And Jeremy's hunting down on PJ's gone off. You just see it in the distance there. PJ got the curb wrong and spun. That was no contact. That was his own mistake. So PJ's now lost a couple of places, and also means Alessandro Mediotti has moved further forward. Hi, Billy. So this is still the main battle. I will keep an eye on Terry and Jeremy, because again, that's a close battle as well. But at the moment, Jeremy in the BMW does look like he's just keeping him at bay a little bit. Peter Miles has now been passed by Kevin, so the pair of them two are having a right ding-dong towards the back. In fact, there you can see Peter's gone wide and Kevin's took him again. And is that going to open the door for Sousa behind? Perhaps is Sousa going to get a good run? Let's have a look. No, Sousa's too far behind at this moment. So, action still with Ricard and Krista. This is the battle that keeps on giving. Ricard does look like he's got a better run there, though, ever so slightly. He's not going to pass him. It's too far to pass. But he's gaining under braking there, and he needs a good run out of here. He's got the good run out. Krista's gone deep a little bit. He's got a bit defensive, Krista, there. He's going to force him. Take the angle. Now, Krista's gone into that corner very, very quickly indeed. He's maintained it. Great cornering. And that battle lives to fight another day. I think it's fair to say. Now, just behind that, we've got Terry putting pressure, as I said, on Jeremy. Terry is not giving up here. He's really putting pressure on him, and you keep seeing him gain and lose, gain and lose, and gain and lose. You can see the gap between the guys in front of Nikos now is starting to grow a little bit. I've got a couple of reds on the track. Peter Miles is gaining on Kevin again, so that's the battle, as I say, that keeps on giving at the back as well. So quickly, Peter Miles has just took Kevin there, and they're still at it again. So you can still, these two guys are so matched perfectly. I hope they don't have contact with each other, because this will be a fantastic... Oh, he says! Very close indeed. Very close indeed. Yeah, they did make contact there. It is coming up as showing us contact. So that was a bit of door rubbing. Non-destructive to either of them, luckily. So I think we're not going to see the end of that battle yet. I can see we're going to see Kevin take another pass on Peter there. Great to see. You know, right down towards the back, and the guys are still racing. Full tilt. So Derek now is right up the jack seat of Chris Bourne. This is the closest Derek's been. You can see Chris's back end then twitch a little bit. A bit too much of that heavy foot there, just started to twitch the back end out. Chris's Derek's lines are really clean. Doesn't appear to be any movement in Derek's car at all. Ride the curb well. And Chris has just got a bit of a better run out of Luffield, didn't he, into that bit, I think. Easing off, power on, yeah. Got a good run again here, he's very close. Kevin's now took Peter again, so as I said, that's the battle that keeps on giving them two. Someone took a lot of grass with them there. Terry Trowbridge is still following Jeremy. Not going to get a good run down here, so let's just jump back to Terry. Whoa, Jeremy's off track. Jeremy nearly took Nikos out. So is he going to get past here? So Jeremy went off track there, he got loose. Now I don't know whether he got out of position because Nikos was in front of him. And Terry has now made the pass. Terry's managed to move forward a little bit. And Jeremy has lost a place, or has he? In fact, Jeremy could lose another place to Merch coming up the inside in the other BMW there. That's Merch behind them, so Merch has made good progress. Decent braking. Nikos is now starting to look like the cork in the bottle. We know Nikos has got the pace, we've seen it. He just needs to get his head down and get his lap together. Not look in his mirrors and run his own race. If you start racing with the guy in the mirror, your race is over. To the difference in angles then, Nikos treated the track with respect and Terry cut the angle. I mean, really that's what Nikos should be doing. Nikos should really be looking at how can he maximise, and there's going for a dive up the inside with Merch behind. Has Merch made it? Jeremy's now on the inside. Merch is going where he went with PJ before, and Jeremy's managed to stay in front of Merch, but for how long? We know Merch has got a good drive when he gets going in the car, so in fact Jeremy's now looking at Terry. He's got a great run here. Jeremy's braking very early, it has to be said. And he's really opened the corner up for Merch with his braking early. But he cut the corner very well. Great battle. Don't know where this one's going to end. Jeremy's back end twitching then. Under power. Right, jumping forward. Because Rickard has got a great run on Krista. I don't know if it's enough. Got a great run out of that corner. Now, Krista's great through that section. Absolutely brilliant through that section. Just looks like the Camaro's really struggling to get its weight around the corner compared to the low down McLaren. McLaren's great in them corners. This is where the Camaro's good with the power. It's too far behind though. So let's go back a little bit. Yeah, this is the same situation as before. So Alessandro has now passed Eric. So Alessandro is now looking at the back of Merch. Now that's a battle I want to see. because we know Merch will race for position, and we will know Alessandro is quicker. And you can see now he's right there with them. Let's just stay with this a little bit, because this is going to get spicy, I think. In fact, no, he's twitched a little bit. He's giving Eric an opportunity here. Eric's sticking with him though. Tell you, the Ginetta's a great little car in the corners, but you put it on a straight in Paul Ricard, it runs out of steam halfway up. So it's disadvantaged on what I'd class as the quick tracks. But the likes of Oulton Park, Ginetta's fantastic. The Hungaroring, the Ginetta would be fantastic. And Ricard's made the pass, has he? Oh, he's showing us making the pass, but Chris has actually had a good run coming into the left-hander here. Let's yeah, he's I looking at this, Ricard's being held up. Can't help thinking Ricard's being held up. And I think when he passes, I'm not going to say if, when he passes Krista, he's going to get in fact, he's got the inside corner here now, has he? Yeah, he's got the inside corner. I think we're going to see Ricard disappear. Be careful with the power in that corner on the grass. And you can see just how narrow they took that corner, then the pair of them, they didn't even go wide. So I think Ricard's going to disappear into the distance now. When he gets on the straight, the grunt of that car is just going to come through. I'm going to go back to Merch. Merch is putting a lot of pressure on Jeremy. Mediotti's not making any inroads with these guys at the moment, but I do feel there's a bit of a plug coming up here. Merch is going to get the inside. It's not really where you want the inside though. You want the inside, not the outside. So this isn't going to help Merch's case at the moment, unless Jeremy breaks extremely early. So Jeremy has broken early. Back end of that Merch's car was going slightly. He's made the pass. Pass was clean. And you can see Merch is going for Terry now. And, oh, Mediotti, very late with the braking there. Mediotti's now going to pass Jeremy as well. Looking at it. Merch is now Terry's mirrors. And you just see the angle there. Let's see how much he gains. Merch is very good under braking into the corners. I think he's a very good trail breaker and maximises the car in the corners. See how it pans out this. Still Mediotti's still not past Jeremy, but I don't think that's going to be long. I'll keep an eye on that as well. The gap at the front now is Rhys Wiggins is 1.3 seconds ahead of Frank, and Frank is 1.3 seconds ahead of Chris. Oh. My top three is wrong. 2 out of 2, not bad. And I'm just going to go back a little because Mediotti got very wide there. And I thought he was going for the pass, but he's not doing. Richard Caloom's past Sousa at the back. No, and yeah, I think Sousa made a bit of a mistake actually. He's still running, but I think he made a bit of a mistake. He didn't go off track. So a bit of a settle down here. So I'm just going to jump back to Mediotti, because Mediotti's putting pressure on Jeremy. We know how quick Mediotti is, and I do feel he'll get a great drive out the probably the hanger straight, and he'll take him quite cleanly. So I think we're going to see the power go down here now. He's going to go through Maggots and Beckett's. I think as he comes out of Chapel Curve, he'll have a great run on Jeremy. Let's see if I'm right. I knew Jeremy's run wasn't too bad. Let's see. Yeah, he's got a good run there. In fact, all the cars have got a good run. Anything could happen here. Oh, sat inside of Nikos. Nikos doesn't know where to turn. He's gone very wide as Nikos. He's opened the inside up. Oh, well done, Merch. Well done, Merch. Looked like Merch could have took his back end, but he didn't. Great driving that, Merch. Nikos isn't giving it up. He's got the inside. Oh, he's sent it. Oh, he's spun round. No one's hit him. Wow. Mediotti's passed Jeremy, but I think Mediotti realised he gained as a result of Jeremy trying to avoid there and give the space back. Good respect to Mediotti, that. And you can see this battle now between Terry and Merch. I think we're going to see, you can see Terry's gone really wide there. Merch is keeping it on the track, and that's going to help at Merch. You can see the power difference. Merch is holding himself up. He's waiting for the moment. Great corner. Mediotti's still having a go at Jeremy, and we can still see Eric is sat there waiting as well. So 40 minutes to go. We've still got a pit stop to consider, so this is far from over. The front three guys could all switch around, and Terry's gone very deep. He's lost control. He's kept it going. He's just got back on. Safe rejoin that. And here we go. The pit window is open. So who's going to be the first one to venture into the pits? Nikos is having a nightmare now. Nikos has really dropped down. Melvin's just took him. I don't know if he's got a problem. He's not hit anything, to be fair. I think he's just made one or too many mistakes, and it's now starting to cost him. So Jeremy's got a great run against Terry now. He's eased off a little bit. He doesn't want to have the collision. But Terry's looking a little bit ropey through here at the moment. Mediotti up the inside. And Eric's still there. Ediotti's going to make the pass. That pass is clean. And he's now got the inside line down the hanger straight. Although Jeremy in the BMW is looking very, very lively there. That BMW is now pulling very, very well. Eric's sitting there waiting at the back, just waiting for his opportunity in that Ginetta to have a go. You can see the two, the Mercedes and the Porsche and the Ginetta, just waiting. Jeremy really using the grass to gain an advantage there if possible, and get the power down early. But look at the power on the BMW there. See, just pulls. Even in the slipstream, the Porsche can't say anything. Very pointed, that Porsche, you can tell. He looked like he was going for it there, a change camera, but it didn't quite catch up. He's still not made the move. Jeremy's still going for the inside line. He's still kept it. Eric's still sat there behind though. He's looking for it. And Merch is now chasing down Krista. So I'm just going to jump to the... No, I'm not going to... I was just going to jump to the front, but the gap's just eased off a little bit. Jeremy's just off the pressure zone at the moment, and Eric's now putting pressure on Alessandro. So it's all down to whether Alessandro races the car in front of him or races the car. In fact, Mediotti is pitting, the first driver to pit. So what he's looking to do is he's looking to gain and do a really quick pit stop to get out in front of these batch of cars. Chris Bourne has also got a great run on Frank. So I've always said this hanger straight's a good passing place. Frank's still got the inside line, and I do feel the gaining on Reese in front. Now that is starting to look like the Porsche's tyres are just starting to deteriorate a little bit, looking at the way Chris was taking that corner. Still clean racing though. I think we're going to see one happy Frank later on, because this is by far his best race. By far his best race. I'm trying to help with the corners, Paul. As you can see, I'm trying to read the corners out as they come into them. So this bit is called the loop, and this takes us into... so this is the loop they're in now, and the left-hander after this loop is called Aintree. So this left-hander now is called Aintree, and that takes us down a little straight called the Wellington Strait. And at the end of the Wellington Strait, you've got what's called Brooklands, which is where there's a great big stadium on the right-hand side. And then that takes us into the left-hander, where you go to the left-hand side, then drift to the right, as you'll see now. We'll all drift to the right, and that takes us into Luffield, as I did with me lap guide before. As you come through Luffield and get through the bend, you then go into Woodcote, which is where you'll see the pit lane on the right. So Chris Bourne's gone into the pits as well. So we've now got Eric putting pressure on Jeremy. And that is Andreas. Andreas is out of position. So Chris is now starting to lose places due to his pit stop, but that's understandable. And Chris is still in pits. He's not looking like moving yet. Terry Trowbridge is taken to the pits as well. We know Alessandro Mediotti has been in the pits, so he's now looking to see where he can come out. So can he come out in front? Oh, all that hard work. He did that in qualifying. He spun it. So we know he did that early on. He spun it. That won't help his tyres, and it won't help him gaining. So any advantage from the pits has now gone. What a shame. Merch. Oh, Merch is off. Merch has overcooked it as well, and yet he's not pitted. So Merch has lost places and is now down to 10th. So that was an unforced error. So in the case of a couple of seconds, we've had Mediotti go off and we've had Merch go off. So this is really down to now Frank getting the run on Chris. I think Chris is going to come out of this in second place, actually, when all these are over. Okay, so yeah, Mediotti's now past Terry. Terry went into the pits. I'm not giving any indications of any pit stop errors, so I'm not seeing anything come up saying stop and go issued. There's a couple of, someone's put Ollie question mark and Ollie's put question mark, so I presume there's a question somewhere. Stating the obvious. Right, so where's Chris Bourne in all this? So Chris Bourne is just in front of Mediotti. I mean, granted, he's 34 seconds. He's quarter of a lap ahead. But I think we're going to start seeing cars jump in. In fact, Ricard has jumped in now. And Chris has now passed him. But I think he needs to get his lap, obviously, his pit stop correct. And Eric is still putting pressure on Jeremy. I mean, if I was Eric, I'd probably go for the jump into the pits. Otherwise, you're just going to come out behind Jeremy, I suppose. Yeah, so the pits are now starting to play a bit of game here. Cars are losing space, losing positions, and then they'll regain. So the idea is to get your tyres up to speed as much as possible. Merch is now pitted, so his spin and his pit is going to put him right down the field. But luckily he's done the spin on the end of his life of his tyres, so he's got new tyres to come back out on. Whereas Mediotti's already spun on his tyres once and will have damaged them. How much, I don't know. Obviously, you know, the tyres can come back onto you on this one. It's those Damastins with the Bond trick kit added on. The Bond trick? Tell me more. Yeah, they are spinning on the same corner. I think what that is, Billy, is they're riding the curb too much and they're getting the grass. So we've now got Merch who's last as a result of his pit stop. Granted, other cars will drop down. So Chris has now passed Richard on track. So that would have, I think that would have been, that is for position. But Richard has yet to stop in the pits. So I think we're going to see Richard drop right down the order when he pits. Frank, I'm just going to go forward to Frank and Derek. So Derek is now putting pressure on Frank. So this is really, there's 11 minutes left of the pit window. Who's going to stay out and who's going to jump in? Jeremy will be in the 30-minute mark. Okay, you mean perfectly halfway. Reese Wiggin has now pitted. So, interestingly enough, I'm going to see where Chris Bourne comes out compared to Reese Wiggin, because that's the guide, isn't it? So I think the gap was about 2.5 seconds before. So let's follow Chris round and let's look where Reese is in the pits. So Reese is at the beginning of the pits. Chris Bourne is slowly catching that space up. So I think this is going to be quite quick. So he's only 6 cars behind now. Are Reese still in the pits? Reese is still in the pits. He's not moving. So Chris is 12 seconds behind That clock is dropping quickly. So we've got another car passing. There you go. Reese is starting to move. And there's Chris. Chris has now managed to pass Reese. So that tells me Chris is going to pass Frank as well. So car 667 has got to stop and go. Reese Wiggins' race has not got any better. He's sped in the pits. He's got to stop and go. So Reese is going to be in a disastrous position after this. He's going to drop all the way down the field as a result of that. That's a disaster. So this is now looking between Frank and Derek for second and third place. I think Chris has nailed this. I do think Chris has nailed this. I don't think Mediotti's going to get the position I said. And I do think Derek will probably jump Frank. I do hope Frank gets a podium. He deserves it. Faultless drive so far. So Paul Moore said he... So yeah, we did say, if you get it wrong, Paul, it'll cost you. So you're asking what are his lap times. Okay, so Chris is born... Last lap was a 2:11.151 and was his fastest lap. That is quick. Just to put it into context, Frank's is 2:12. Frank's last lap was 2:12.627. Derek's was 2:19, but Derek is in the pits. So Derek is going for the pits here. So let's go on board with Chris and let's see where he stands in relation to Derek. Is Chris going to get Derek as well? So Derek is now dropping down. So there's Derek. He's at the front of the pits. So that could be an advantage. I'm just looking. It's not showing me the gaps of the cars in front. So it's purely blind. And you can see Krista's behind there as well. Just further back in the pits. So Krista's coming down. Sorry, Chris is coming down. He's past Krista. And he's past Derek. So Chris is now looking very, very favourable. And I think he's going to come out in first place regardless. Because I think Frank was just in front of Derek. So Frank will be looking to come in shortly with 7 minutes to go. Jeremy has pitted. So most of the cars are now showing us having a pit stop. Krista's pitted. Rickard's pitted. Rickard's now in 6th place. Because significantly behind Derek. So Derek's looking good in 5th now as well as a result of the pits. Because 3 of the cars are in front of him. I've got to finish. So this is got to, I've got to pit. So this is now looking like Chris Bourne, Derek Bird and Frank Roeder as it stands. But I could be completely and utterly wrong. Yeah, did say it, Paul. Did say it. You can't charge me for that one. I did say keep your finger on the button if you forget. So at least you've learnt from it and you know what you did wrong, and that's the most important part. So Reese is now doing his drive-through and he's clear. So Reese has now done his drive-through. He's coming out though in 17th place, just behind Sousa. So he's got a lot of work to do there. So Frank Roeder is in the pits. And the closest car to him, which is 30 seconds behind, is Chris Bourne. So Chris Bourne, I think, is going to be passed by 10 with 10 seconds to go. Derek is also going to pass him a feel as well, although he's going to come out just behind Derek, I think. So here's Chris coming round towards the last part through Luffield. There you go. It comes through the corner. Frank Roeder's still sat in the pits. Chris Bourne is gaining. He's coming through now. Here comes Chris. Frank's still stationary. And there you go. Frank's got going again, but Chris is going to pass him. You'll see Chris go at the bottom of the screen any second now. There you go. So Chris has made the pass, but has Derek? So Derek hasn't. So has Frank managed to pull one on Derek? I think he has. So let's look at the pit stops. Frank's pit stop was 35.3. Derek's was 38.5. Derek was nearly 3 seconds slower. So that's allowed Frank to come out in front. Wow. So Ricard has now passed Eric. Eric was in the pits. So Ricard is looking... Kevin's still to pit. So Ricard's looking for a 4th place. And Krista's looking for a 5th place. Great points, these. Take a breath. Catch me breath. Where's the action at? So I'm going to jump on board with Terry. As Terry is putting pressure on Jeremy again. So in all that kerfuffle, Jeremy's managed to get in front of Terry and Merch. Now we saw Merch go off. I didn't see anything with Terry. And Jeremy's pit stop was slower. In fact, Derek's pit stop was one of the slowest pit stops. Now, if Derek's had damage, that might be the reason. You can see as well. Just let me jump to the rear. Merch is back. Guess who's back? Back again. Merch is back. Sorry about that, guys. No bonus points for guessing who it is. Peter Miles has gone off. He's in a bit of difficulty with his car there. So let's back to Terry. Terry's looking steady in this second half. He like this on Monday, I think it was. Second stint, he was much better. I don't know if his tyres were better in the second stint or not. Terry putting the anchors on there to get the car to come round. Drive through car 65, track limits. Car 65. Peter Miles, track limits. So there you go. Track limits is certainly a case. So he's found what we can't. Oh, Merch has gone way off. Merch was closing to Terry very, very quickly, and that explains why. He got it completely wrong. So Ricard has now moved up. You call it a hack, Ollie. It's not a hack. It's called playing the game. A hack is where you change something. But Alessandro Mediotti is now in 6th place and is 6 seconds behind Krista. So Mediotti has got 22 minutes to pull back 30 seconds to get a podium. Is he going to do it? Interesting to see whether he does or not. So I'm going to go back to the back of Jeremy's car. As we can see, Terry's just eased off a little bit. Actually, Paul, it's about 3 seconds. If you get it spot on, it's 3 seconds. So it is significant. So you need to talk about the undercut. That is definitely an undercut, 3 seconds. Jeremy's really got the anchor, really got the power down here now. Although Terry's got a great break in there. That section, Jeremy doesn't like, isn't it? You can see it there. That section alone, Jeremy doesn't like it. He's so far ahead, he just loses so much time and puts himself under pressure. Yeah, I think this battle is going to be over soon. I think Terry's going to get him in one of the bends. Jeremy's got the McLaren is taking the corners much more tighter. I think what we'll see is as they come through, Aintree, I think we're going to see a good battle coming into the bottom of Brooklands here, down the Wellington Strait. It's all about getting this angle right. No, so far so good. Both clean. Both clean. I will say Terry's angle in the way he's hugging the corner means he's got a better drive coming out. You can see though, I was completely wrong. Jeremy's got the power down. I know the BMW's got power on tap anyway, so that might be one of the reasons. You can see there's such a big gap now. It's still only a second, but it just looks big. The back end there of Jeremy's car went. Allowed Terry to catch. Just stepped out ever so slightly. ever so slightly, as if Jeremy turned it too aggressively in the back, just decided, no, I can't keep that, I'm going. He kept it, fair dues, he's not lost a place. It just goes to show though, Jeremy's pushing, he doesn't want to lose this position. He's in 8th position at the moment, he doesn't want to lose it. So Derek is 5 seconds behind. So quick rundown of the grid for you. Chris Bourne is now 5 seconds clear of Frank. So I think he's got this one in the bag, it's fair to say.
The pit window is closing now.
Frank Roder is 5 seconds ahead of Derek. So Frank's looking in a very, very strong position here. Derek Bird is 17 seconds in front of Ricard. So Derek's looking like, unless there's an incident, he's nailed the podium here, one way or the other. Ricard is 3 seconds clear of Krista. So we saw Ricard pass Krista before. So he's just improving that lead. Krista is 6 seconds ahead of Alessandro Mediotti. But we'll see if that gap starts shifting and coming down a little bit. So I mentioned before, Mediotti had to take 30 seconds out. That's now 20 seconds, so he's took 10 seconds out so quickly. So Andy, yes, hi Andy. Frank still has a pit to do. No, according to this, Frank. Right. So what you're saying there, Andy, is he's not fulfilled the pit criteria, which means he's going to get a 300-second penalty. Sorry, 130-second penalty at the end. That's a disaster. Oh dear, what a shame. I know he's gone into the pits because I saw him go into the pits. But if you don't change the compound, and this is the schoolboy error you make, if you don't change your tyre number you're going to race on, it's a possibility it'll put another tyre on you've already raced on, and that is not classed as doing a pit stop. So what you've got to do is go into your tyres and make sure you set your secondary tyre to something like tyre number 10. That's what I usually do to guarantee it's changing my tyres. He must have put fuel in. Well, I presume he put fuel in because his race times indicated he was running on a similar fuel to everyone else. That could be a disaster for Frank though. If that's the case, that is a disaster for Frank. Anyway, running down the grid, we got to Krista. Mediotti's still 6 seconds behind. Shows a 1 next to his name. Yeah, he's not fulfilled it. And then behind that we've got Eric in the Ginetta. And Eric is being followed and chased down by Jeremy in the BMW, by Terry in the McLaren, and by Merch, who started at the back in the other BMW. So Terry's got a good run on Jeremy here. Is he going to make it happen? No, he's not. So carry on. PJ started really well, and then he had a spin on a corner. He spun in I'm just trying to think what he spun actually. He spun on the way to club, and he lost so much time. I think it just upset his balance a little bit. Melvin is next. Again, calm, clean and collective. Just gets on with it. Always stays out of trouble, and just races, and usually ends up bettering where he is. He's usually quite happy with his positions as well, because he knows he's raced to the best of his ability. But Nikos qualified really well. He was racing really well. Then he's had a few little incidents, I think it's fair to say, and consequently he's lost a lot of time now. So Nikos is having to battle back. Kevin's done really well. He was towards the back. He's now moved up into 14th place. So he was having a great battle with Peter before. They were trading places. Reese Wiggin, who got his pit stop wrong and did a stop go in the pit stop, so he's had to go into the pits twice. So he's now chasing Kevin. I do think Reese is going to finish higher up than this. It's just unfortunate he's had to drop down. But fair dues, he did not quit. Anyone who does not quit, I've got total respect for. Souza has just got on with it. I don't think I've seen any incidents with him at all in relation to going off. He's just got on with it. Again, I've had a nice drive. Richard Columb, again, he's He's dropped down to the back and then just started to come forward again, I think, because other cars have fallen off. Andreas got a stop and go at the start. So as you can appreciate, stop and go on your first lap's really not your one. I'm going to jump forward because Merch is putting pressure on Terry. Terry's gone deep. That means Merch is going to get the inside. Terry's going to close the door. He's gone very wide again as Terry there. Could see Terry get a drive through here, you know, for track limits. He's been pushing some of them corners really, really wide. And then at the back, oh, there's been contact. Frank, and let me just have a look who that was with. Just hopefully the replay won't be as bad as it was yesterday, because it was taking an age and was crashing the game on me. There we go. Not the game, sorry, the software. So Frank was quite clear. It shows he's had contact. What the? I think we've got serious lagging issues there. I think it's fair to say. Wow. Serious lagging issues. That wasn't just me who saw that, was it? My mind didn't make that up for me. Oh, wow, wow, wow. So, I think Derek will probably plead there was contact there. We've just seen the replay. That was definitely lag. So I don't think we can, you know, that's what you call mitigating circumstances. Unbelievable. I can't see what their ping is either. So I don't know whether there's lag as a result of his ping. But that was that was quite sensational. Paul, you've just summed it up. What happened then? Aliens, definitely. Going around the corner. I thought he was parking it up. But he seemed to be parking up by going in the air. Back to Terry. Terry's putting pressure still on Merch. So Jeremy's pulled away here. In fact, Merch has passed Terry. We've missed that as a result of the replay. So I can't show you that pass now. But it's not recorded as an incident. Reese Wiggins has now passed Kevin. I said that had happened quite early on. That was a quantum event. Oh, hi Dimitri. I think it was, mate. I don't know really what happened there. But even the replay was like, what? What's going on? Oh, that's where the cars are. And that's what it displayed. Unbelievable. Yeah. Do. That's the tune for Twilight Zone. I am right, aren't I? Or have I got it completely wrong and just embarrassed myself? Yeah, look at Terry there. Really cutting the corners. Ollie didn't see anything. That's because you're upside down to you. It looked fine. Okay, so where else can we go? So this is the closest battle. If I just show you the track map at the moment, they're all very, very split. As you can see, they've got me a little replay icon on the screen again. So let me remove that. That's really annoying when it does that and doesn't switch it off for me. What am I on? I'm on nothing. I'm just, you know, trying to entertain you guys. eSeniors are being abducted. That's it. Do. What was that? Anyone hear that? Go on, Ollie. I'm waiting for another comment now. Oh dear. Yeah, the men in the white coats are coming for me. Don't you worry. And that's before the beer. Oh, right. I'm going to jump forward a little bit to Derek. Derek is catching Frank here. I do think Derek is going to catch Frank at some point. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this battle because his lap times have been closing down quite a lot. Mediotti has reduced the gap to him and Krista by 3 seconds. Hi, Jonathan. So Reese did his pit stop. And Chris passed him in the pits, but as Reese come out the pits, he got a stop and go, so he's had to go right to the back. So obviously that's massively upset Reese's battle. So Reese is having to come back through the field now. Mediotti early on spun out and lost loads of paces. Nikos has gone off and has lost another place. Nikos looks like he's having a nightmare of a second part of the race here. And we've just had the Alien show. You missed that, Jonathan. The Aliens attended. Frank Roder, who's doing a fantastic job in second place, looked like he was parking his car up but going uphill at the same time. And then the next thing we saw was Derek in his boot, and then the two of them separated apart. So there's been some alien manoeuvres going on. I mean, that would have been great on Halloween, wouldn't it? A bit late now. Talking about missing the bus. Derek, yeah, he's slowly eating into this lead with Frank, but it's not significant. Now, Jonathan. None of that. I'm not reading that one out. So, the other battle that's actually starting to be created is Krista is catching Ricard. So, if you remember in the first stint, Ricard passed Krista. Krista's doing a great job here. He's closed down by 1.5 seconds. And actually now, Ricard's the one going wide in the corners. Interesting. Yeah, Paul, this has been a really tough race for unforced errors. There's been a lot of them, haven't there? I mean, yes, there's been 1 or 2 incidents as well. I will say nothing major on the grand scheme of things, but the number of people making mistakes and actually driving off the track or spinning off the track has been quite significant. Oh, Terry's there. Will Derek catch Frank? Well, he will, because he's within 1 second. So he's got 9 minutes to make the pass. Let's see if it happens. Meanwhile, Chris Bourne is 11 seconds in front. So we've seen Frank hold off Chris before for a good number of laps. It must have been 8, 9, 10 laps, I think it's fair to say. Can he do the same with Derek? They are both in the same car. Oh, Derek's just made it. I think Frank didn't want to race him. Frank's thinking, I'll have the 3rd place. He's looked at the gap between Frank and Ricard. Sorry, Derek and Ricard. He's thought, he's not going to catch me. So Frank's playing it safe there. Nothing wrong with that. You've got a choice, lose the race or finish on the podium. You know, there's a lot of drivers, professional drivers, who sometimes should think like that, in my opinion. But yeah, that was a good decision by Frank, that. Well, he can't complete his pit stop. Yeah, he's got a penalty, you're right. But don't forget, the finish places still stand. Mind you, yeah, I think he's going to fall down the leaderboard, isn't he? I think when Jeremy does it, he will show Frank as in 3rd place, but the final position will not be Frank. We had that a while ago. Terry's off track. Terry's gone off track. A bit of grass cutting there. Melvin's gaining on him, but no, he's not going to pass him. So Melvin could have got into 11th position then. And Frank, what's going on here? Frank has gone into the pits. He cannot fulfill his pit stop now, unless he has not put fuel in, and that's his problem. He hasn't put fuel in. This has basically ruined Frank's race, I believe. I think he's run out of fuel. He's running low on fuel. What a shame. So there you go. There goes my top 3, completely bamboozled. Now it does mean, is Mediotti going to get 3rd? No, he's not going to catch Ricard. Ricard's too far ahead, but it does mean Ricard is now looking for a podium. But actually, no, they could. No, they could get it, actually. Alessandro's only 2 seconds behind Ricard with 7 minutes to go. And more importantly, Krista is right up the rear now, so Mediotti could get Krista and Ricard and still get that podium. So guys, are we doing driver of the day? And if so, who is going to be your driver of the day? Or are we waiting to see? Any volunteers? Need to wait. Right, okay. Thanks for that. Yeah. It's just I've got to put it together. And the way tech's been going for me today ain't going to go right. But never mind. I'll try. Yeah, I agree, Luke and Jonathan. I do agree. If Mediotti gets both of these, I think it's a slam dunk, isn't it? Murch has caught Jeremy. So Murch is now looking to pass Jeremy. So that's a battle. I think that's going to be ended soon as well. 5 minutes to go. To be fair, Merch has had a cracking race considering he started at the back. I'm going to go back to Alessandro. Ollie's saying Westin. Again, that's a good shout, you know. Ricard's a good shout. Jonathan Wood smash. Kaboom! Hi Dave. You're very late to the party, Mr. T. How many places? Sorry, Stefan. List, or is that lost? Oh, sorry. What you're on about is you're on about that one. So Krista's made 6 places. Eric's made 8 places. Paunov's made 11. So are we going to see Mediotti pass here? I mean, if you look at the places there, Paunov's been fantastic. Put the commentator's curse on. I've not got a graphic for that. And the commentator's curse is... oh dear. Wooden Spoon Award. That's the Run Out of Fuel Award, isn't it? Oh, Frat Roder's quit. He's just sat in the pits. Jeremy's been passed by Merch. Mediotti is still looking at Krista. I don't think Mediotti is going to get Ricard. Ricard's too far ahead, I think, in my opinion. 3 minutes is a long time, I know. And sorry to say it, Terry, you know 3 minutes is a long time as well. Anything could happen in 3 minutes. But Alessandro has got to pass Krista sooner rather than later. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Is it going to be the sooner? He's got a great run. He needs to go to the inside here. No. He's going to try and take the angle and cut it here. He's not going to do it. He's not going to make the move. Yeah, I think Merch, to be honest, has had a really good race. To gain 12 places from the back of the grid takes some doing. Hanny's made a mistake as well. He spun off before. Yeah, Krista's been really quick through there. You can see the difference in speed. You're not giving me much time, guys. Really not giving me much time at all. So I'm going to give you... Yeah, I think he ran out of fuel, Billy. I'm not too sure. We need to see what he's going to say. I mean, his PC didn't crash this time. That's a saving grace, I suppose. Right, I'll let you get to a minute and a half, guys, and then I'm going to have to push you for a driver of the day. So Luke's going for Westin. There you go. Coming to the end now, so I could really do with Krista if he hangs on. So that's really not going to help me. I've got to get it set up. Come on, guys. Krista. Right. Let's see if I can get this set up now. You give me all this trouble to get it set up. Now, there's a couple saying Krista, Luke, unfortunately. It's not my decision, this one, so, you know, I do respect the choices of the masses. Krista's done... No, he hasn't, but Krista's not made any errors either, and Krista's been put under pressure. Although, Hello, Mediotti's going for it. So we got right. I think Krista's had a good run. I really do think Krista's had a good run. Mediotti's got him. Mediotti's got him. That's it, guys. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Wow.
The leader has finished the race.
Oh, Mediotti's made a mistake. Okay, so I think we know where this has gone now. I think Krista's yeah. So just to clarify, driver of the day isn't displaying on the screen, which is really not what I wanted. There you go. It's Krista. So the reason why we get to Krista is well, we could have picked a number of drivers. First of all, Krista didn't make a single mistake, and I know you could argue Chris didn't, and so on and so forth. But he's held off under pressure. He's made some passes. He did get passed early on by Ricard, but he did put up a good battle. We could have picked anybody, and all we've done is we've looked at the drivers of the drivers on the track. So driver of the day goes to Krista. So well done, Krista. Congratulations on that. Can I just thank everybody for watching the stream? Really appreciate you being with me. A special thanks to PWS again for sponsoring the software for us and allowing our eSeniors to carry on the way we're going at the moment. Really respect what you guys have given us the opportunity to do. And I just want to say thanks again to everybody and wish you a good day, a good evening and a good morning. Take care all. Goodbye.